Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. It's a beautiful day today. I'm so ready for today's episode. It's going to be fun and horrifying and all that good stuff. As always, subscribe if you want to. And let's get into story number 1. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my sister-in-law's kids after I saw text messages between her and my mother-in-law saying horrible stuff about me? I'm 26 female and married to my husband, 28 male. I don't have the best relationship with his family, but I've always been civil. I've never had a problem with my sister-in-law, 30 female, but there was always some tension between us. She asked me 2 months ago to babysit her children since she likes going out with her girlfriends on weekends, but never got the time because of the kids, and plus I don't work weekends. My husband thought this would be a great way to bond with her kids, 4 female and 7 male, and smooth the tension between me and sister-in-law. I thought a few weekends here and there wouldn't hurt, but she was also refusing to pay me since I'm family. I didn't want to without payment, but I did want to make my husband happy and keep the peace because I knew that she was going to cause drama in his family if I didn't, so I said yes. It wasn't so bad and the kids are nice and respectful, plus she paid for food. Fast forward to this weekend, I saw a notification on my sister-in-law's phone, who was sitting next to me on Friday at a family dinner, between my mother-in-law and sister-in-law talking crap about me, saying stuff like how I'm annoying. I was shocked because I'd been babysitting her kids for free and been very nice to her. I confronted them both with my husband, who said that it wasn't a big deal and to drop it, but I was enraged. Wait, so your husband said that it wasn't a big deal? Oh no, come on. They both said that I had no right to snoop, and I crossed a line, but eventually they gave me a half-hearted apology. I was still mad at them and my husband for not sticking up for me. My sister-in-law asked me if I could babysit on Sunday. I said no, and I told her that I was shocked at the audacity for her even asking. Now her, my husband and his family are mad and saying that I'm overreacting and blowing things out of proportion. I think I'm in the right, but my husband isn't speaking to me and is sleeping in the guest room. Get rid of him. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? No, but get rid of your husband. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole. It sounds like a great opportunity to get a new husband also. You know, one who prioritizes you. And the top comment, girl, why are you with him? He doesn't respect you either. Leave that man. Yeah, the audacity of the husband. My husband isn't speaking to me and is sleeping in the guest room. Oh, that's terrible. You don't need any of these people, OP. I feel sorry for you, OP, that you even have to deal with the in-laws, let alone your husband on top of it. This comment says, if your husband treats you like a doormat, how can you be surprised that your in-laws see you as that? You have a major husband problem. I am so sick of reading about partners that don't stand up for their partners. It's infuriating. The second top comment says, not the a-hole, but you really have a husband problem. He did not stick up for you and suggested that you were overreacting. And now imagine having kids with that guy, where his mother's and sister's opinion means much more to him than yours. I can imagine sister-in-law dropping her kids off with you because you're home with your kids, so you're free to look after hers, and your husband's not going to do anything about it. As at the end of the day, family helps family and you shouldn't complain. Think about this. To me, it's a huge red flag. This comment says, boy, did you ever marry into the wrong family, OP. You're young and you've learned a lot from this start of marriage. Move on. Your husband and his whole family are awful people. Yeah, all the best, OP. You are definitely not the a-hole. But yeah, if I were you, OP, I would run in the opposite direction. Okay, post number 2, Jin is going wild in the background. He's got zoomies, everybody. Am I overreacting for telling my mother-in-law that she can't throw a separate birthday party for my son just to outdo mine? My son's turning 5 next month, and I've been planning a small backyard birthday party for him. He's obsessed with dinosaurs, so I'm doing a dino theme with a piñata, a fossil dig game, and a cute T-Rex cake that I'm making myself. It's not fancy, but it's what he loves, and we're keeping it chill since money's tight. My mother-in-law Karen has always been over the top. Last week she called and said that she's throwing a better birthday party for my son at her house the day before mine. What? Oh my god. She's booked a bounce house, a magician, and a catered taco truck. She didn't ask me or my husband, just decided that it was happening, and then invited all of her friends' kids, not even my son's classmates. I told her we're already having a party, and she can't just plan a separate one without talking to us. She laughed and said, "Oh honey, kids love big parties, and I'm just giving him the best day ever." Oh, this is terrible. Then she posted pictures on Instagram of the bounce house with a caption like, "Getting ready for my grandson's epic birthday bash." People are now texting me confused about which party to attend. I finally told her that she's not throwing a separate party because it's my son's day, not hers. She's now crying to my husband that I'm denying her grandma rights. Oh, the audacity. My husband thinks I should let her do it. No, to avoid a fight. But I'm so annoyed. Am I overreacting for shutting this down? Another husband who can't stand up to his mum. No, make it stop. This is so annoying. In the last episode, I was like, I'm so sick of reading this. And now it's also in this episode. I guess I should have expected it, but that still definitely surprised me at the end of the post there. The entire post about the mother-in-law overstepping, and then to end it by saying, "My husband thinks I should let her do it to avoid a fight." Wow, that is so bad. This comment says your husband needs to have your back. You shouldn't have to be the one standing up to his mum. Yeah. The comment above that says many others are going to say this. Your mother-in-law isn't your problem. Your husband is. He needs to cut the apron strings and shut this down yesterday. Yeah, he does need to. It's so annoying because now OP is dealing with a mother-in-law that's overstepping and super rude, and also a husband that doesn't know how to stand up to her. My husband thinks I should let her do it to avoid a fight. Are you serious, dude? You want your mum to feel like doing stuff like this is okay? Like it's completely fine for her to throw a big party for your son the day before your party for your son? Your husband wants to enable and encourage this behavior? The top comment says, "Not overreacting. Don't take your son to grandma's party. She didn't invite his friends, so it clearly isn't for him. It's just to make her look good. Tell everybody you're busy that day so you can't attend grandma's little party, but you hope everybody you invited can turn up for your son's birthday party as planned. Word it like that. Grandma's party one day, son's birthday party the next. Make it very clear that grandma's party has nothing to do with your son. And tell your husband to grow up and start standing up to his mother. Make it very clear that neither you nor your son are going to be attending his mother's party, and he needs to learn to prioritize his wife and child, his immediate family over his mother, his extended family." And the response says, "This all day, show this to husband. Dude, you're screwing up. Cut the umbilical cord before you tank your marriage. Focus on your core responsibilities, your wife and your child. Your mum's making a power play. You're an idiot if you allow it." And the response to that comment says exactly, "Dad doesn't see a problem because he's a part of the problem." A comment below that says, "Make sure to tell your husband if he takes your son to that party, he's gonna be on the porch and he'll be living with his mummy." This comment says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we have other plans that day. It's not a birthday party without the birthday boy. Also, you have a husband problem." And the response says, "And you really should have checked with us first before going to all that trouble. We're not available that day, but I'm sure you'll enjoy your party without us. Yeah, good luck, OP. I feel like you're gonna need it. You are definitely not overreacting, and I'm sorry that your husband doesn't know how to stand up for you." Okay, the next one that we're gonna read says, "Am I overreacting for refusing to name my baby after my mother-in-law and causing a family fracture? I, 25 female, am 7 months pregnant. My mother-in-law has always been intense, overbearing, passive-aggressive, dramatic, but I've mainly kept the peace. She's been insisting since the day that we announced that we named the baby Eleanor after her. It's not subtle either. She's bought monogram baby blankets, made social media posts referring to the baby by that name, even told church friends it's official. Oh no. We told her repeatedly that we're still choosing, and Eleanor isn't on the list. Last week she cornered me at a family gathering and said, 'I carried your husband for 9 months. You owe me this.' Oh no, they don't. You do not owe her this." I said, "No, I don't. This is our baby." Yeah, 100%. Like that's not even a question. Now she's crying to the whole family saying that I'm intentionally severing a maternal bond. My husband's 100% on my side but hates the drama. Her side of the family is now calling me ungrateful and disrespectful to elders. Oh god, that's hilarious. They're disrespectful to elders for not going along with something that's completely unreasonable. What a joke. I honestly don't feel like I'm overreacting, but maybe I should have let her have the name. Of course not. No, this is not something that you give into. And what, your husband hasn't said anything to his mum? It's another one, isn't it? Another person that can't stand up to their mum. This is getting ridiculous. This comment says you aren't reacting enough, and your husband is failing to protect you. He needed to shut her down months ago. At this point, you need to cut communication with mother-in-law and her flying monkeys. If she's still acting like this, she doesn't get to see the baby. She doesn't get to come to the hospital either way. You don't need that after you give birth. Tell your husband to man up and protect his wife. The only one with maternal bonds to this baby is you. Your husband needs to be a better husband. He's not protecting you from his mum, and it's only going to get worse after the baby's born. At that point, he'll be failing the baby too. And edit to add, make sure you have somebody in the hospital with your husband in case you're incapacitated. He may want to avoid drama. By the way, what a thing to say. And then name the baby Eleanor. You'll wake up with a baby named after mummy. Yeah, this is getting so bad. Like the fact that we read about something super similar in nearly every single post. The last thing that you do here is give in to them, OP, like the end of the post, but maybe I should have just let her have the name. Do not ever do that. Like, don't give in to behavior like this. Like, oh, my mother-in-law is being super unreasonable, super awful, overstepping in every possible way. For some reason feels like they get to name our own child after her and has already bought monogram baby blankets and made social media posts referring to the baby by that name. So maybe I should have let her have the name? No. You and your husband get to decide the name. If I were you, I wouldn't want anything to do with your husband's mum. And yeah, your husband's on your side, but he's doing nothing about this. And it's his disrespectful mum, but he's not doing anything to handle this because he hates drama. That is sad. And yeah, okay, you hate drama, husband. I'm pretty sure this is a little bit more important. And if your mother-in-law's acting like this, who cares if there is drama? Do you even want anything to do with her anyway? Like, giving in to her should never be an option. Should never even consider giving in to her. This comment says if your husband was 100% on your side and hated the drama, he would put a stop to it. If you guys have spoken to her multiple times and you've been firm that Eleanor's not an option, she's being rude and manipulative and should be called out. And it's not going to work coming from anybody but him. Will it probably cause more drama? Maybe, but it's the right thing to do considering you're 7 months pregnant. And he needs to nip this in the bud because she's trying to be controlling. What is she going to be like with your kids? Yeah, it's not that he hates the drama, it's that he's too scared to stand up to his mum, so he doesn't want to get involved. Yeah, 100%. The comment below that says never do anything just to make others happy and yourself unhappy. That's your child, and you get to name her anything you want. And no one except you and your husband has a say in it. And the response says she needs to tell mother-in-law that she carried this baby for 9 months, so the right to name falls on her, not the mother-in-law. Oh yeah, that's right. Because the mother-in-law said, I carried your husband for 9 months. You owe me this. Yeah, like what sort of logic is that? The mother-in-law carried OP's husband for 9 months, so now she feels like she gets to name OP's baby. But OP's gonna carry their baby for 9 months, but they don't get to name their own child? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and this comment too. Wow, you're a lot nicer than I would have been. You owe her nothing. You and your husband are the only ones that get to name your baby. Yeah, once again, good luck, OP. The next one. Am I the a-hole for finally snapping at my husband's mum in front of his whole family? So, here's what happened. Last weekend we went over to his uncle's house. Normal family gathering, nothing fancy. I wasn't even in the mood to go, but he insisted. Said that we couldn't keep skipping things or it'd look bad. Whatever, I went. Barely 10 minutes in, I hear his mum talking to his cousins in the kitchen. She wasn't whispering, like at all, loud enough for me to hear from the hallway. Stuff like, she's lazy, doesn't even take care of the house. I don't know what my son saw in her. If I were him, I'd come back home. Like what? I cook, I clean, I take care of her grandkid. I've kept my mouth shut every time she made her little side comments. Every time she rearranged my cabinets or folded our laundry like it wasn't done right. Every single time. And now she's out here talking crap about me. Lying even. In front of the rest of the family. I walked into that kitchen heart pounding and I just said it. Please stop talking about me like that. You're always making stuff up and I'm done staying quiet. That's all. I didn't yell, I didn't curse, but man, you'd think I flipped the damn table. She froze, looked shocked, everybody else went silent. My husband just stared at his plate like it was the most fascinating thing in the world. What is happening in today's episode? Am I cursed? Cursed to read about partners who can't stand up for their partners? This is wild. They're Then she starts crying, saying I embarrassed her, that I disrespected her in front of the family, that I ruined the night, and suddenly I'm the bad guy. He didn't say a word on the way home, not one. I asked if he was okay and he just said, "You didn't have to do that." I didn't have to? Are you serious? Yeah, what? I've been biting my tongue for months. She's made me feel small, like I don't belong. I've tried to win her over. I've been nothing but respectful, and he knows it. But now he's mad at me. So yeah, I don't know. Was I wrong for finally calling her out? Am I the a-hole? Once again, no, but get rid of your husband. The top comment says, next time you're all together, ask your mother-in-law if there's a return policy on her son. This one's defective. It's missing a spine. And the second top comment, tell him to pack up and go back home. You'll send the divorce papers there. He sat there and he listened to his mum berate and insult you and didn't do anything about it and hasn't done anything about it. Tell him that you thought you married a man and not a mama's boy. Yeah, and the audacity for him to be upset at you. He thinks you're in the wrong. And the comment below that says, not the a-hole. Your husband is not your partner. He's his mother's child. He sat there and listened to her lie about you and said nothing. That level of disrespect is untenable. I'd have his bag packed as soon as we got home. He can go back to live with the lying cow, and you can live your life without her in it. Talk to a lawyer. You did nothing wrong. Nothing. She lies and then cries to manipulate people. Yeah, and OP's husband let it happen. Oh, that's so bad. A comment below that says, not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law is poisonous and your husband is spineless. Yeah, this is infuriating. Like the fact that he said that you didn't have to do that, and he's giving you the silent treatment, and he's annoyed at you. Oh, dude. Yeah, send him back to his mum. And the husband's mum said that OP embarrassed her and disrespected her in front of the family, but it's completely fine when the mother-in-law disrespects OP in front of the family. Yeah, like that other comment said, what a poisonous person. This comment says, no, you didn't have to do that. He should have done it, not the a-hole. Yeah, the audacity for him to say that. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Well, OP wouldn't have had to do that if you stood up for them. Yeah, that's so bad. And moving on, and hopefully the next one isn't about a partner that doesn't stand up for their partner. Am I the a-hole for prioritizing law school over my girlfriend's baby fever? Okay, so there shouldn't be any mama's boys in this one. My girlfriend Katie, 25, and I, male 25, have been together for 3 years. She's been bringing up wanting to have a baby lately, says how some of her friends are already married with kids. I get that, but I've told her clearly that now's not the time. I'm not ready and we're not in a place financially or mentally to even consider raising a kid. I'm in my second year of law school and I'm fully buried in it. I'm exhausted, broke, and trying to get through this without completely losing my mind. Yesterday she told me that I'm not doing my due diligence in trying to understand how she feels, but honestly I don't get what there is to understand. I told her that my point of view is simple. I'm not having a kid while I'm broke and sleep deprived and still in school. I said it's not a personal attack on her, it's basic logic. She got upset and said that it feels like I'm emotionally checked out and just waiting for an excuse to leave. I got frustrated and I told her if having a kid ASAP is that important to her, she should find somebody who's ready for it because I'm not going to blow up my future over her baby fever. One of her friends messaged me saying that I'm a manipulative a-hole who doesn't care about her. I honestly do think they're all being dramatic. I was upfront and honest. I didn't yell or insult her. I just said that I'm not going to throw away years of work to play house before I'm ready. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. The top comment says not the a-hole. She should not be pressuring and manipulating you into having a child. If she can't understand that you want to be stable before having a kid, because of how draining it is mentally and financially, I think you should break up. The comment below that says, why is she and her friend taking this so lightly? It's basic logic not wanting to have a kid in your situation. There's no way that kid's gonna grow up in a good environment if you're still in school and stressed about it. A kid's not a pet. You're stuck with your kid for at least 18 years if you're lucky. Once you get a degree, a job, a house, now what would be a good time to commit in raising a child? In your situation, it's a disaster coming. Not only for your relationship with her, constant fighting over personal time and money, but also for a child who'll probably grow grow up in an unstable household because he wasn't wanted in the first place. You'll both have resentment for each other if you do that. Is your girlfriend still at school? And OP said nope, she's working as HR at a fairly big company. She goes on and on about having good maternal leave and that her mum loves to have a grandkid and that she'll have our back. The comment below that says not the a-hole, she's the only one being manipulative here. You're 25 on year 2 of law school. She's desperate for a baby because you've been together since the ripe old age of 22. Seriously reconsider having sex at all until your desires for children are actually on the same page, because you're about to be a dad. If she accidentally ends up pregnant right now, even if you stay together for a few years, you'll eventually break up. The stress of the baby when you're nowhere near ready as you try to finish law school is going to cause massive resentment and estrangement. She'll frame it as her putting you through school and you bailing as soon as you started making money. Absolutely no good can come from an unplanned to you baby right now. So remove the risk. You already told her to find somebody else whose goals align with hers at the moment. I think this relationship's cooked. The question is whether you want to end it with no strings or with a small child in the picture. Sorry, OP. Yeah, that's so wild for one of her friends to message OP and say that OP's being a manipulative a-hole who doesn't care about her. How's OP being a manipulative a-hole? By stating that they're not ready to have a kid yet, for very valid reasons. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus in the comments. And like where the friend said that OP's being a manipulative a-hole who doesn't care about her. So does that mean that OP should just have a child with this person when OP doesn't want to? Like, that's not the answer. A response to the top comment says, no kidding. My daughter was in law school in a different state. She had very little time for anybody. We all knew that being in law school meant that her life was on hold until she graduated, and we all accepted it. OP's girlfriend is being selfish and just thinking about herself and her wants. She needs to decide what's important, being with the right man and waiting until the right time to have a baby, or finding a guy that's going to give her a baby now. One thing I'll say is OP, wear protection. Have the ones you use hidden in case she accidentally puts a hole in the ones in the nightstand. It has been known to happen. Don't trust that she's on birth control and is actually taking them as scheduled. Not the a-hole, and best of luck with your schooling. It's worth the sacrifices that you're making now for your future. Yeah, the top comment said not the a-hole, she shouldn't be pressuring and manipulating you into having a child. And yeah, that's definitely the consensus in the comments. Like, yeah, having a child is not the same as having a pet. Like, yeah, OP's not in a position to have a child, and OP knows that it's not the right time to do it. Good on you for thinking about it, OP, and not just rushing into it even though you're not ready, or just doing it because you felt like you should, even though you don't want to at all. You're thinking about it, and you're trying to do the right thing for your child. Like, yeah, understandable that you're not ready. Okay, the next one that we're going to read. Would I be the a-hole if I give my daughter an outdated name? I, 32 female, am currently 7 months pregnant, and we were told by the doctor that it's going to be a girl. So me and my husband, 33 male, have been thinking of names until we decided on a name that we like. We decided to name her Audrey. And when I told everyone at the baby shower, one of my sisters told me that it was an outdated name and that she'd get bullied for having a name like that. Which is funny because she wanted to name her daughter Ashley, A-S-H-H-L-I-E-G-H, pronounced as Ashley, before her husband stopped her. After a while of her making comments about the name, we eventually kicked her out of the shower, and I blocked her on all social media when she kept on messaging me telling me to change the name. So would I be the a-hole if I name my daughter Audrey? Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole. Audrey's not a bad name, nor is it outdated. Ashley, though, spelt like that, on the other hand, is a true tragedy. Yeah, and for her to say that OP's daughter would get bullied for having the name Audrey when she wanted to name her daughter Ashley, but spelled A-S-H-H-L-I-E-G-H, but OP's daughter would get bullied? Right, okay. This comment says unblock her and tell her you've decided to name her Audrey instead, spelled A-U-U-U-D-D-R-E-I-G-H. Yeah, please do that, OP. The comment below that says, like, I'd understand if it was Gertrude or Mildred, but Audrey seems fine to me, not the a-hole. Okay, moving on. The next one's called, am I the a-hole for not bringing gifts to my nephew's birthdays? Because they never give my kids anything. I, 34 female, have 2 kids. Over the past few years, my nephews have had several birthday parties. We've always been invited, and I used to bring gifts every time. But I started noticing that when it's my kids' birthdays, their parents never bring anything, or even acknowledge it. My kids don't even get a happy birthday from them. It started to feel very one-sided. Yeah, of course. Their parents, my brother and sister-in-law, are often cold and dismissive towards me and my kids. So this year I decided that I wasn't going to keep doing something for people who clearly don't return the effort. I still went to the party, but I didn't bring any gifts. After the party, I got a bunch of texts saying that I was being petty and that you don't punish kids for adult problems. Now I'm starting to wonder if I was in the wrong, and maybe I should have separated the kids from how I feel about their parents. Am I the a-hole for not bringing any gifts? Edit for those asking, yeah, we've always had birthday parties for my kids, and my brother, sister-in-law, and their children were invited every time. They attended a few over the years, but never brought gifts or really acknowledged the occasion. Also, for clarification, it wasn't even my brother or sister-in-law who texted me after the party, it was my parents. So clearly somebody complained to them behind the scenes. Kind of ironic that no one said a word when my kids were the ones being overlooked for years, but the moment that I stop bringing gifts, that's when it's a problem. Yes, so not the a-hole. The top comment, tell them I thought that we weren't doing presents anymore. Not the a-hole. The second top comment says, you don't punish kids for adult problems. Ask him what's the dang problem then, cause for several years now you've had no clue. I would just tell him that you were following his lead. And the comment below that says, oh, I never intended to punish your children. I was following your lead, and I assumed that we were all just not giving gifts. I am curious now though, what are you punishing my children for by not giving gifts? It's fine when they do it, but wrong when you do? F that, not the a-hole. Yeah, and do they have no self-awareness at all? How do they not realize that they've done the exact same? Like they didn't bring any presents in the past, but now it's a problem that OP doesn't? Yeah, you're definitely not the a-hole, OP. Okay, the last one for today. A bit of a shorter episode today. Am I the a-hole for silently changing my son's name after my brother and my sister-in-law gave my nephew the same name too? My wife and I had our son 4 months ago. We had a name chosen early in her pregnancy. We kept that name to ourselves, but my sister-in-law, married to my brother, found it out when she was still pregnant with my nephew, almost 7 months old. She never said how. She just told us that she loved the name, congratulations, and that she couldn't wait to meet him. We assumed that she snooped because she was not told. I even mentioned it to my brother, and he said that his wife does like to browse through people's things like it was no biggie. Excuse me? Then when my nephew was born, they announced his name, and it was the name that we chose. First, middle, and last name. Wow. My brother called right after sister-in-law posted the announcement, and he told me to keep quiet because his wife had a rough birth, and she didn't need drama, and he knew that we might not like it, but she really wanted the name. Her reason? My brother and I have matching twin-like names, and sister-in-law wanted to connect our two boys by just giving them the same name, so they were each other's namesake. My wife and I talked it over and we decided to pick a different name, but we'd pretend to keep the original name until there was zero risk of sister-in-law changing my nephew's name. 6 months after a birth is harder to make a change in our state. We only started telling people the true name last week. My parents and sisters said that it made sense. Friends and my in-laws understood why we did it. My brother told me that I upset his wife by silently doing this and taking away her choice to match the boys. He told me that it was a move. I told him his wife using the full name that we chose was a move. Yeah, what is he talking about? I asked him if he considered how much tougher it'd be with both boys enrolled in the same schools with the very same name, not to mention banking and doctors and dental and all kind of stuff. He told me that plenty of people have the same name, and it's not a big deal, and it's harder to mix up now, and we're only trying to gatekeep names. I think he's cray, so does my wife. She said that he clearly doesn't want sister-in-law to be mad, but am I the a-hole for what I did? Like, are we weird for thinking of this kind of stuff? Yeah, the top comment, definitely not the a-hole. Your brother's outraged that you took away sister-in-law's choice to match the boys? Your brother is outraged that you took away sister-in-law's choice to match the boys. What about the fact that she took away your choice to have an individual name by invading your privacy? He's fine with that, I assume? Yeah, that's terrible. And OP said he acted like it was no biggie, while I'm thinking I need to keep a closer eye on her in the future. Yeah, for sure. This comment says, how did she find out this info? She would never be allowed in my house or near my things. And OP said we had some blankets with the name, and our best guess is that she found them while snooping. And this comment too, not the a-hole. I told him that his wife using the full name that we chose was a move. You are correct. The comment below that says not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law and brother are out of their minds. That is so wild. Yeah, very much a not the a-hole consensus. And that's enough for today. Time to read something wholesome. Me talking to my girlfriend about my love for something. Her not fully understanding but happily listening anyway. Oh, that's so beautiful. Like, I don't really know what you're talking about, but you look very happy, and I'm happy that you're happy. That is so cute. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. Today's episode was a roller coaster ride. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. As always, let me know in the comments if you did, and like and subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day today goes to Lady Plants. The thumbnail of Jin licking himself while you look confused and concerned is amazing. Yeah, they're so funny, aren't they? I'm looking all horrified and worried about what we're reading in the episode, and Jin and Nez are next to me licking themselves, or like happily sound asleep. It's so beautiful. I was going to do a face episode today, but yeah, definitely going to do a face episode soon. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for the support. I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!